Greenland is becoming geopolitically priceless. Why Greenland suddenly matters. Let's unpack it. Greenland is the world's largest island, mostly ice-covered, largely uninhabited, and politically tied to Denmark. It sits high above the Arctic Circle between North America and Europe. Despite its small population, its location makes it geopolitically significant. But White House says controlling Greenland would give the U.S. dominance in the Arctic, deter China and Russia, strengthen missile defense for Europe as well as mainland USA, control key sea routes, and secure rare earth minerals vital for EVs, renewables, and military technology. Military planners view Greenland as a key piece in Arctic defense. During the Cold War, the United States established bases there to monitor Soviet activity. Today, the U.S. Space Force operates Pituffik Space Base, a key site for missile warning systems and Arctic monitoring. Control of Greenland helps monitor naval movements and protect North American airspace via the North Atlantic and Arctic routes. It also controls access through the so-called Guyuk Gap, the strategic ocean passage between Greenland, Iceland, and the UK. Whoever controls this region can watch and influence naval forces traveling between the Arctic and Atlantic. All missiles from Russia, if launched towards Eastern Europe or USA, will pass over Greenland or very near to it, thus giving opportunity to counter these before hitting intended targets. It's also the shortest route for Russia's submarines to pass through Guyuk Gap to reach New York. Greenland isn't just about military geography. Beneath its ice lie vast natural resources, including rare earth minerals essential for tech, renewable energy, and defense industries. Estimates also point to potential oil and gas deposits, though environmental concerns have slowed large-scale drilling. As climate change melts Arctic ice, new shipping routes, like the Northern Sea Route, could shorten trade between Asia and Europe. Greenland's proximity to these routes could make it a future hub for maritime logistics. With melting ice and new opportunities come global tensions. The US, Russia, and China are all expanding their Arctic presence. The US sees Greenland as a way to outmaneuver Russian and Chinese influence near the pole. Russia is increasing its Arctic military, and China calls itself a near-Arctic state, with plans like a polar Silk Road. At the same time, Greenland's government in Denmark insists the island is not for sale, emphasizing sovereignty and self-determination, even as external powers push for influence. So why does this matter? Because Greenland sits at the crossroads of military security, energy transition, and global trade routes. What happens there isn't just Arctic policy. It affects superpower competition, global supply chains, and future geopolitics. Greenland has limitless free thermal energy, and the temperatures make cooling data centers total free for most of the year. Greenland's geothermal energy and natural cooling for data centers, with AI-driven rare earth mining backed by Gates, Bezos, Altman via Kobold, and the Freedom City Tech Hub proposal, which is Thiel-funded via Praxis, has been pitched to President Trump. The USA likely seeks it for strategic Arctic dominance, critical mineral resources for tech/AI, and efficient, sustainable infrastructure for innovation. This aligns with national security and economic interests in the region. Now about future of Greenland, which actually comes from its past. In 1951, US and Denmark signed a treaty. US is responsible for Greenland's defense. US maintains Pituffik Space Base, earlier Thule Air Base, part of NORAD missile and space tracking system. So US already acts like Greenland is strategic territory. Trump wants formal control, not just presence. Dark Cold War history there. Denmark had banned nuclear weapons on its soil. Later discovered, US had secretly stationed nukes in Greenland. This shows Greenland has long been part of nuclear strategy of USA. How big Greenland really is? This is where people underestimate it badly. Greenland area, about 21.6 lakh square kilometers in the world. Trump sees Denmark is weak on control, Greenland wants independence, China is moving in, Arctic is opening, so he thinks, make an offer. Greenland cannot refuse or strike a deal during transition. If US pays Denmark, looks colonial. If US pays Greenlanders directly, each citizen becomes multimillionaire. This is not new for America. In US history, purchasing Louisiana, even Alaska from Russia. Alaska was mocked then. Today it is priceless. Trump sees Greenland as the next Alaska.